In Wosu, there lived a young woman named Nkechi. She was hardworking, kind, and carried the burdens of life with a quiet strength. Her husband had passed on to the ancestors soon after she knew she was with child. But Nkechi did not break. Every day, she was seen, washing clothes by the stream, feeding the goats, her back straight, her spirit unbroken. She greeted everyone, helped everyone, and the village loved her for it. One evening, when the sky turned the color of ripe eggplant, Nkechi's time came. A strange, whispering breeze swept through the compound, making the palm trees dance. Children ran to their mothers. And with the help of the old midwife, Nkechi brought 2 baby girls into the world. The first to arrive was plain. Her features were simple. The midwife sighed and said, "She will have to be strong. Let her be called Ada, first daughter." But the second child took the breath from everyone in the hut. She came with a head full of tiny, perfect curls and skin that glowed like polished clay under the moon. "Oh," cried the midwife. "This one is touched by beauty itself. Name her Chinelo." And so the twins grew. As the years passed, the people of Wosu flocked to Chinelo. They gave her sweets, braided her hair, and sang of her beauty. They called her Moonbeam and River Pearl. But they turned from Ada. They said her face was like an unfinished pot, and they did not look long enough to see what was inside. But inside, Ada was her mother's true daughter. She woke with the sun to fetch water. She pounded yam until her arms ached. She greeted every elder with a deep bow and played gently with the smallest children. Her hands were always busy, and her heart was always open. You could find Ada in the melon patch, singing to the seeds. You could find her feeding the goats and chickens, listening to the elders' tales long after others had slept. Her mother's spirit lived in her quiet deeds. Chinelo, however, you would find by the river, not to walk, but to admire her own perfect reflection in the water. She would spend hours weaving flowers into her hair, while the goats she was meant to watch wandered into the yam fields. Chinelo, who had been fed only on praise, grew a different fruit. She was lazy. She left her mat unmade and her plate unwashed. She mocked the elders for their slow walk and snapped at children who came too close. Yet, because the sun loved her face, the people of Wosu still smiled at her, blind to the shadow in her heart. Now, the spirits watch such things. They see the balance that must be kept. One hot afternoon, as the twins walked a dusty path, they saw an old woman named Momakosi. Her back was bent like a bow under a terrible load of firewood. Sweat poured down her face like rain. Without a thought, Ada rushed forward. "Grandmother," she called. "This load is for a donkey, not for you. Let me carry it." But Chinelo grabbed her arm. "Stop," she hissed. "Look at her. She is dirty and old. Her smell will cling to your clothes. Leave her." Ada shook her off. She lifted the heavy wood onto her own head and followed the old woman to her small hut at the edge of the forest. Chinelo followed too, but only to complain about the heat and the flies. When they arrived, Mama Kosi, who was not just any old woman, looked at them with eyes that saw everything. She thanked Ada and then brought out 2 small, identical calabashes. "For your kindness," she said to Ada, handing her one. "And for your beauty," she said to Chinelo, handing her the other. "Rub the paste inside on your faces before you sleep. The morning will show you what you have earned." That night, in their hut, the sisters obeyed. Ada rubbed the sweet-smelling paste on her face with gratitude. Chinelo slathered hers on greedily, dreaming of becoming more beautiful than the moon itself. And they all slept that night. The next morning, a scream shattered the peace of Wosu. It was Chinelo. She stared into her bronze mirror and saw a face she did not know, a face that was thin, with dull eyes and a sour twist to the mouth. The beauty had vanished, as if washed away by a river, leaving behind only the reflection of her own spirit. And Ada. When she rose and looked into the water jar, she saw a woman with glowing skin, eyes full of light, and a gentle, radiant smile. Her kindness had come to the surface, shining for all to see. The village gathered, buzzing with shock. Nkechi held both her daughters, her tears falling for one lost to vanity and for one found to virtue. And from that day on, the people of Wosu learned to look twice. They learned that the first face is the one the ancestors give you, but the second face, the true face, is the one you build with your own two hands, your own kind heart, every single day. Moral: 1. True beauty is not a gift given at birth, but a light kindled by a good heart. 2. The way you treat the humblest person is the truest mirror of your character. 3. Neglect a good seed because it looks plain, and you will miss the mightiest tree. Please like and subscribe to Tales by Nelly to watch more interesting stories like this.